Okay, the last problem for chapter 1 is S17. S17 gives us some work with Excel. Again, it tells you to go to the same website that we went to in problem S11. It's important that you get familiar with Excel. I'm sure that some of you had experience with Excel in your high school, okay, or in another college class if you've already taken some college courses. But it's important to get familiar with Excel because Excel is used extensively in the accounting world, and we will do an Excel project that will be due at the end of the semester. It's not going to be an extensive formula project, but it will have you use some of the basic functions that you need to be familiar with in Excel. All right, so on S17, the first thing we want to do is go to the same website we went to in S11. Remember, this is a free website. It does not cost any money. It is not Connect. When you go to this website, this is after you've clicked on the student edition, okay? After you've clicked on the student edition. It takes you here. The first thing that I want you to do is then go to choose a chapter. When you select that, it'll give you a drop-down list, and then select on chapter 1 because we're dealing with chapter 1, okay? It then brings up some various different informations that you can use. The thing that will be beneficial for us here is go to Excel templates, select on that, and then I'm going to select on select chapter templates, push open, get rid of that message, and then select chapter 1, okay? This gives you templates that have already been set up for you so that it eliminates some of the work that you have to do, okay? You'll not use all of these templates because I did not assign all of the problems. But you can scroll down to the tabs. The tabs are shown at the very bottom of the Excel document, okay? And they're labeled for which problems each Excel tab deals with, okay? If you go over to the tab that says S17 balance sheet, okay, and click on that, you'll see that you're given an Excel document that's been formatted, okay? Notice how these cells right here, they've been merged. A merged cell indicates that more than one cell is combined. For instance, this, you can see how this is a bigger cell block. It's combined columns A, B, and C into one cell. Does that make sense? And you scroll down here, you can see that all those cells are merged. That's for your header on your financial statements, okay? Your header on your financial statements. Notice that over here in column A, the column width has already been adjusted for you, okay? And then you might find in other cells here that, like for instance right here, sorry, let's scroll back and see if we can find it. Right here, you can see that when we selected on this cell right here, that the bold and the italic font has been selected for us, okay? This helps us, and then notice when we go above, it's off now. And that's because this document's already been formatted to remove some of the stuff that you'd have to do, okay? Helps save you time. You do not have to use the Excel templates, but you are welcome to use the Excel templates for each one of the assignments that we do that deal with Excel, okay? So, based on the assignment, we have to find a skills development case within the website that will give us instructions. So we've already selected on Excel templates. Now I want you to go back up here and select on the skills development cases, okay? Again, we're going to chapter 1 for this because we're dealing with S17. So we'll select on this. We'll then select chapter 1. And then scroll down to the skills development case that we're dealing with, okay? We're dealing with S17, so it gives us some information on how to prepare an income statement and a balance sheet, okay? You can read through this information, but if you scroll down here, you're given the financial data up here. Notice that some of them are left as a blank because we're going to have to calculate them. And we can do that using a simple basic function that I'll show you in Excel, okay? And then down below here, if you scroll all the way down, you're given some Excel help in the form of an email, okay? It tells you exactly how to create the financial statements that you're trying to create, as well as give you the solution for the sum formula, okay? Or whatever it is, that formula that we're using. How to link cells, how to add different things within a cell, and in this instance, how to sum something, okay? So, once you read through those instructions, the goal is to create a balance sheet and income statement. I've created one for you, and it should look something like this. Okay. Now, I will post this online. I'm going to scroll up here to make sure that you can see everything, okay? Starting with the top here, I've entered in what the header is for the financial statement, okay? Notice I bolded this, and it's as of a certain date because it's a balance sheet as opposed to an income statement, okay? Which is through a period. Notice you have a section for assets, okay? And I've listed each one of the assets that are given out, okay? All of these are considered assets on the financial statement. If you go over to the numbers here, you'll see that I've simply hard-coded. You can tell what the formula is by going to the function line, okay? You can tell what a formula is. In this instance, there is no formula. I've simply hard-coded these numbers. These were numbers that were given to us. But when you scroll down here to this cell, you can see that I've used a sum formula, okay? By pushing F2, you can see the total that this cell is taking into consideration. Notice these numbers and these letters are highlighted blue. That corresponds to the blue here, okay? That'll be important when you start adding multiple things. It will change colors, okay? So here, this is summing up everything above it, okay? How do you insert that function? Well, I'll redo it real quickly. I'll back this out, and I'll simply say, scroll over to here, to the sigma sign, okay, over to here, and sum that up. So I push sum. Excel automatically assumes that I want everything above it. I could change this by grabbing the little arrows over here, okay, and going up or down to change this. But I want all those, so I'm going to leave it. Then I simply push enter, and it gives me my formula, okay? It gives me my results. Scrolling down, we next have a section for liabilities. Notice that these cells are merged, okay? If you want to merge and center something, easiest way to do this, notice I've clicked off of it now, but I simply click merge and center. And that's that button right here. This will merge and center an item. So notice I have it highlighted on 2 columns here. Okay, and then I click merge and center, and there we go. All right. We scroll down here. Again, these numbers have been hard-coded. You can tell what's in there by going to the function line. So these numbers have been hard-coded. Hard-coded is a simple word. It just means typed in, okay? And then we sum this up using the same formula we used here, okay? Then we go down to stockholders' equity, because remember the balance sheet is 3 sections. Assets equal liabilities plus stockholders' equity. We have in here hard-coded contributed capital and then retained earnings. Okay? We've summed those up again. Okay? These two sum together. And then notice that there's a total line here for total liabilities and stockholders' equity. Okay? Total liabilities and stockholders' equity. How did I get that? Notice now the colors have changed. I told you when you use multiple items, the colors will change. Notice we've taken this total, which is total stockholders' equity, and we've added to it the total of liabilities here. Okay? Total stockholders' equity plus total liabilities. Okay? And that equals our total amount here between the two. All right? How did I put that in? I simply hit equals, and then I click on the cells I want to add. This, and then hit the plus sign. This equals that. Okay, then you push enter, and it'll click off of it. Okay? Then I put a check formula in here. This check formula makes sure that the total liabilities and stockholders' equity equals total assets here. Okay? So, I simply said does this minus this equals 0. Because if not, we have a problem. But in this case, it does. Okay? That's your balance sheet. Move on to your income statement. Again, up here, listed out the header. Notice this is for the period ending as opposed to at or as of a certain date. Okay? We have listed out here first revenue, and they give us sales, again hard-coded number, and then they give us our expenses. Okay, we've subbed those out here, again all hard-coded. This is the sum total. Again, same formula that I showed you guys. By selecting the sum all the way up here, you can add up everything above it, okay? And then we've taken the difference here by adding or taking the total revenue minus the expenses to equal a net income. Again, I'll show you how to do that. If I were to back that out, I simply push equals, select this, minus this, and that gives me the difference here. And this is my net income. That's problem S17. Please send me any questions that you have.